All right, we are live. The Smokescreen, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Very
Live.
excited about this
Hello,
episode.
folks.
Yep, this is your host, Mr. Major League, and I got my boy Joe Igniter Passarelli from WEEI on the
That's
line as
right.
always.
Dice Man is back, rolling with Mr. Major Leagues to deliver the truth, the whole truth,
Yeah,
and
and nothing
nothing
but
but
the
the
truth.
truth to you great people.
That's right. That's right. That's what we're here for. And there's been a lot of things going on, so much things going on that I have no idea what the hell to start with.
Right.
And
I know, apologize to the followers of the show. I know it's been kind of a few weeks off of us upgrading technology and kind of coordinating, changing schedules. Uh, but yeah, I mean, what a time to kind of go dark. So much stuff happening. I mean, it's overwhelming to begin. Obviously, the tragic shooting of Nipsey Hussle was a huge story.
yeah,
And, this Julian Assange arrest this week has been a big headline. There's been a lot of stuff in between, too. A lot of stuff going on.
yeah, a lot of stuff, and it's crazy, man. Every time I put my phone on, it's a notification about something that's happened. Somebody that's going to jail or somebody that's gotten
It's
killed.
almost overwhelming. It's like a giant purge of everything going on at once.
Yeah, it's everything. I mean, it's crazy, man. There's so much information to take in. So we're gonna try to filter through that stuff and get to the bottom of this shit because it's a lot of stuff going on. Behind the scenes, in front of your face, basically. A lot of the stuff's in front of people's faces. They just don't see it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a smoke screen like the show. So
Hence the
yeah.
title.
So
Cheap plug.
let's kick it off with I wanted to get on this topic, Joe. The last pretty much the last show. What did we do? It was the missing people. No, it was the
We never even aired the Missing People show. We
yeah,
researched
right.
it, but we never even aired that show.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to start off with that. Look, and because
Cool,
I
cool.
got yeah, because I have a lot of I got some information on it. So I want to I really want to kick it off, and I'm gonna give credit to my sources because that's what I do. And
That's
I don't
right.
like getting sued. So and I don't know about everybody suing
No,
me.
no, no. Welcome to YouTube, where that's a thing.
Welcome to the world. Welcome to corporate fucking America or corporate
where,
Earth.
where, where, where we can't play music or certain things, or else we'll be booted off faster than you can say super kick party.
Hell yeah, talking about strike one, strike two, and shit. But
Yeah.
anyway, there's been a lot of missing people going on, and I'd say about 1 million children go missing a year alone, just children. So
Scary
and
numbers.
yeah, and it's scary. And we're talking about it happens in third world countries like a lot because they don't have the support and they're pretty much poor. They don't have the support from their families. They just like pretty much they just like their children just wander off. And they get picked up. They even sell them.
And not only that, but you want to talk about like the cop system, the governing system. It's a lot different. It's not like it is in this country.
Oh no, they don't care. People like other countries, they don't care. They don't have no support. Like I said, they don't have no. There is no Department of Children's Services or whatever. Child Protection Service.
Yeah.
There's none of that stuff over there. So they don't.
There's no departments dedicated to missing children or anything like that. Not at all.
They don't care. They just end up missing every day. So what I think is these 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 things that are happening are mostly happening around like places with like dense rainforest and tropical
Wooded areas.
yeah, like weird areas, yeah, well, isolated areas.
I
um
mean, a lot of stuff that I had researched was even like the national parks in this country being big problems for it. But obviously, like you want to talk about the national areas where there's no, American governments. That's
yeah,
even worse.
yeah, and even yeah, and I'm not even gonna touch up on that, Joe, because it's like I can't touch up on it because I'm not there to you know what I mean to walk the ground, and
Right.
I'm not gonna touch, but I'm here, so I'm gonna touch up on stuff that's going on right here. And some people might know it, some people might not know it. um I've been listening to one of my sources. Shout out to David Paulides. He's an author, former police officer, investigator, for missing children and all that kind of stuff. But right now he's retired and he does his own thing, and you can find him on YouTube. David Paulides Missing 411 YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, comment to that.
That's right.
Shout out. But anyway, he's pointed out some things that correlate to some stuff, and like with the people that are missing, they're ending up in like on hikes with let's say a child goes with a dog. Like a lot of the cases where like these kids end up running off, they run off with the dog. You know what I mean? Like the dog runs off first, and they chase after the dog as they're
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know what I mean? And
No, Chico, and they run in the woods after the puppy. Yeah.
so I want to touch up on something that I was listening to, and this is a case that really got to me, and like I'm still thinking about it to this day. And it was a hike by a firefighter and a paramedic. They were the
Okay.
same unit. Yeah, they were the same unit, and they was gonna go for a hike. You know, just a little through the rainforest. So they ended up hiking. I'd say about they said 10 or 12 miles in. Now the firefighter, he was an experienced hiker, experienced in the area. He was experienced. The paramedic didn't
Knew
have
the
no
area, knew the paths, all of that.
yeah, knew everything. So the paramedic didn't have no idea about the area. So this article, it goes on to say that the firefighter had a dog named Duke. So this the firefighter, the paramedic, and his dog named Duke.
Dog
Um,
named Duke. That's classic.
I'm telling you. Um, let's see. They went into the wilderness, decided to camp out. The dog all of a sudden, I mean, they're getting undressed, they're getting ready to just basically get up in their sleeping bags in their tents, and just camp out.
Yeah, getting ready to go to sleep and shit.
So all of a sudden, the dog just like makes a noise, and then just darts off, just goes running, just taking off in the pitch blackness of the woods, just takes off running. So what does this guy do? His name is John, the firefighter. He goes on chasing the dog, and it don't even occur to him to put his shoes on.
Right, yeah, he just
So
reacted and the
yeah,
dog ran away and chasing after your dog.
yeah. But my thoughts is like I mean, you're really gonna get up and not take what is it, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 12 to put your shoes on?
Well, I mean, in that moment, I can see where you just like fight or flight react, like, oh shit, the dog ran away. You just run. You don't even think about the shoes. It's
Yeah, yeah,
like your kid was drowning in the lake. You wouldn't think to have your clothes on and I jump in and save him. That kind of
true.
vibe.
Yeah, okay, that's true. Yeah. But anyway, he took off after the dog. Gone. Never came back. So the paramedic somehow makes his way out of the wilderness, back to find help, finds help.
Hmm.
Um, then they put a search party together to go search for him, and they searched for weeks, like a week and a half, in the same spot. You know what I mean, in the same
Same
area,
vicinity, yeah.
and they did not find this guy. They didn't find us anything.
No
They didn't find
footprints, no
no print,
clothes, no
nothing. There was nothing.
droppings, any kind of thing, yeah.
Nope, nothing. And tell me why the day after the day before they were going to end their search, they find the guy's dog sitting by his car.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is
So,
crazy.
so they found the dog. The dog was just acting normal. They never found the guy, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, 11 days later, they find his dog.
Wow. I mean, I'm happy to hear the dog made it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's what I'm saying. But and
That's a happy ending.
the funny thing is that like you know Yosemite National Park.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, famous Yosemite National Park in California. It has the
Mm-hmm.
most clusters of disappearances in the world.
Now, this was more of the stuff I had kind of researched on too. The more what was going on in this country and
Okay, yeah,
all of that.
cool. Well, it's the most cases, 40 to 45 cases, don't seem like a lot, but it's a
That's
cluster.
45 missing kids. That is a lot.
I mean, it definitely is. I mean, it's crazy. I mean,
That's just
it's
this
like,
year, or
I mean, that's just like I don't know. I guess as long as it's been investigated, because
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
But
those are
there's
the
many cases, Joe, that there's many cases that are not investigated. You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah,
There's
swept
some
under the
kind of
rug.
and there's some kind of cover up going on. I think as far as that goes, like with the Park Service, like people that are on the parks. Because check this out. This is what I dug a little deeper. I dug a little deeper, and I found out that a lot of these national forests, they're protected, right? Protected by the
Of
government.
course, yeah.
Be safe. Okay, with
Government
within
owned.
within single digit miles of these rainforests, there are military installations.
Oh yeah, that's not shocking.
So we're talking about I'm talking about like deep underground installations.
Yeah,
Okay, so now we're talking about the government as far as the military cause check it out. All right, they can control the weather through HARP, I was told, right? This is what I'm hearing. And so
Yeah,
whenever you get,
Harpo is the whole topic in and of itself.
oh no,
That's a
no,
crazy
yeah,
one.
I'm not gonna go that route. I'm just saying that
Yeah,
I was just mentioning, I'm just throwing that seed.
throw some
But
bullet points out there.
when they're looking for these people in the rainforest, um, like for some reason, the day after they go missing, a huge storm comes through the rainforest.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it
Yeah,
basically makes search impossible. You know, like you know what I mean? These guys are out there, and it's like you know like hurricane-ish tornado conditions. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Out of nowhere, no warning.
yeah.
You
Like
know,
something out of the Truman Show where it just feels controlled.
yeah, it feels like there's something going on. Like it's like you know what I mean. And then when
Yeah,
they go investigate to the surrounding police and the sheriff, you know, and no one wants to talk about it. Don't want everyone wants to hush hush. You know,
yeah.
they don't
Dirty
give
little
you the
secret.
information. You call for information, they just like no, we can't tell you nothing or there's nothing to know. You know what I mean? Like what? But these kids are missing. You know what I mean? Like what do you mean there's nothing to know? You know, and it's like crazy when they find these kids. If they the ones that they find, Joe, they find them like in a state of shock. Like they don't know what's going on. They can't explain what happened to them. They find them with like
Traumatized.
no shoes and no shirt. You know what I'm saying? And they find them in the places that they've searched over and over again. So that now that brings the question: are they getting taken and then put back in the spot where they got taken from?
My theory would be that's highly possible. I mean, you go back even to like the time travel experiments, the montage. There's always that common theme of like kids getting taken and kids getting, messed with. I mean, like it could be as crazy as taking them to other dimensions. Like we could go down that level with it, or like take a simplify of the facts. There's underground bases. Of course, there's experiments being done.
Yeah.
AI is becoming more and more of a prevalent thing. They're experimenting on humans with chips and all kinds of different things with that. So you have these highly wooded areas near government army bases underground. Certainly, there's access to children real quick. And again, like if there's some kind of weather manipulation, that just adds even more layers to it. So to me, that's highly plausible. Whether it's like, they're just like almost like Weapon X. Yeah, I mean, like the X-Men kids, like they're just rounding up these kids and making them these super soldiers or
Yeah.
something, or just
Yeah.
messing with them on some way or another. I'm highly open-minded to that idea.
Okay, that's me too. I'm pretty much in a lot of these cases, like these kids go missing, and these people, not just kids, people like not just kids, adults, they end up going missing in places that have like the Devil's Peak, the
Symbolism.
Devil's
Yeah.
Pond, Devil's Canyon, the Devil's.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So like, and now that brings to like, thing, there's a real. Could there be a supernatural thing going on here? Can these kids be getting lured by fantasy
Well, I mean, you bring up
monsters?
an interesting point. Like the word "devil" is used in like you said, oftentimes it's common terminology. The devil, devil's peak, devil's stone. It just seems like this weird terminology within nature. And yeah, I definitely think there's something to that.
I think
Absolutely.
yeah, that I definitely there's something there's so much it points towards foul shit, foul play. The fact that they don't find them some at all, they don't find traces, but when they do find them, it's like these kids are mentally impaired. They're like autistic. You know what I mean?
Like
Or
that's the other layer to this. Like it could be a bunch of Satanists abducting these kids and doing god awful, and that's where you cross into like Illuminati type talk and like powerful people type talk, and like the people that may actually know what's going on with that in the hush hush with that. But like let's like remove the Illuminati and just especially in the Midwest and like all these like areas where like there's not a lot of cities.
isolation. It's easily isolation. The Midwest is like an
They,
easy
they,
isolation.
they say idle hands are the work of the devil, and that that's a shoot right there. Like these people get into Crowley, and like they start studying Crowley, and like like all the stories with Crowley connected to like all the musicians and shit too. Like there was some disgusting shit going on, and we know what musicians are getting caught out there now. Iconic musicians like R. Kelly and Michael Jackson, they're dirt. So just imagine what like Pink Floyd and like the popular musicians of the time that were rolling with Crowley, what disgusting shit they saw.
Yeah, yeah. They saw. I mean,
So I think it's even more plausible that it could be a protected satanic entity group of people, Satanist, cult, whatever terminology you might use, that are abducting these kids and doing god awful, unspeakable acts.
The shit and that's like the most horrendous. I hate that's the most horrendous of crimes. If you ask me, I mean, I don't think it gets more
You know,
horrible.
like people that really dig deep into this hole, and they'll go on the dark web and see like really disturbing shit. Like this shit is real. Like the Satanist shit. Like I try not to like persecute people for their religious beliefs, and like there's some people who like they legit like are like that is their religion. It's like a weird little. Again, like you can't persecute someone for their religion. If you make a joke about Jewish or whatever, you get persecuted. You make a Jewish joke on Twitter, you get blocked. But like when it comes to the Satanists, they're this weird little pocket where like people know it's wrong, but people know it exists. You know what I mean? And like take the Catholicism and the light and darkness element. I mean, they're just doing vile, disgusting shit, sacrificing animals, all these different things, and you know what they do to the kids. They feed off the innocence off the children, off the fear. It's like literally like horror film level disgusting energy.
Yeah, it's like almost sexual for them. You know what I mean? So for them.
Oh yeah, no. I mean it is, and then some. I mean, like they're obviously committing egregious sexual acts, and they're getting off on that on more than just a sexual level, on a power level, on a control level, and like on this like sick like vampire type of level where you're feeding off the innocence of children. That's what a lot of people. Well, we had talked about Michael Jackson a couple months ago, and like I was a little closed-minded to it because I'm a fan of his music, and I like to think if you're a fan of someone's art, you can separate that from the person. Like case in point, I'm a wrestling fan. Chris Benoit, we all know what he did. There's conspiracies about that too, but this ain't the show for that. But if we ever want to do a show on that, I got plenty of theories on that.
We will.
I'd love to. But with him, I can watch his matches with, from the 2000s with Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero and like The Rock, and like and his match with Bret Hart after Owen died, and I can appreciate the artist that Chris Benoit was. And that's kind of how I look at the musicians too. I can appreciate Michael Jackson's art and still know that, like, okay, this motherfucker was a sick bastard.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's like they get off on that. Michael Jackson got off. Michael Jackson was like even more. Again, maybe we'll save that for another show. The Michael Jackson, our true opinions on that.
You can go ahead and go here. If you want to go into that, go into that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was about to say something about the about that too. So
yeah, no, go ahead if you want to piggyback off that and roll with that. Oh. Yeah, I mean, like for me, it was hard to accept that. Okay, like Michael Jackson was what he was, but if you really open your eyes to it, he was hiding it in plain sight the whole time. Talk about like, yeah, I love children in the bed. Like, no adults is gonna be sleeping with grown ass boys, the teenagers and boys in the bed like that. If there's no weird shit going on, and like the level of payoffs he gave the family, and he slept at one kid's house for 30 days straight, and like all you gotta do is look at the old interviews, and they're right there. Like you can see and like everybody asking him about the pedophile, he's like, no, well, I don't believe in that. I'm not Jack the Ripper, saying like this Jack the Ripper narrative, which I think he was telling you in plain sight that he had a multiple personality disorder. Stems from the fact that he was sexually molested by Joe Jackson and other Hollywood entities when he was a child in the Jackson 5.
And abused, and violent, and he was abused. Joe Jackson beat the shit out of all of them kids, man.
Oh, yeah, no, they was talking about how they would beat him with the belt until they get the music notes right. Like, not because they misbehaved, to get the music notes right. That's kind of sick.
Yeah, that's twisted. I mean, like, I mean, these people.
And like, there's narratives that like Michael actually perversely liked some of the abuse, and that's what created the abuser that was Michael.
Yeah. You look at, like I said, they're not, like I said, they're not born, they're created. You know what I mean?
And again, you want to talk about a common narrative protection of these entities. Michael Jackson obviously was protected. He had to do a lot of payouts, but I mean, they took him to court, and he won his case.
Yeah.
And that's why I was on the fence about it. I'm like, he did win his case. And like these, Jimmy and the other kid did testify for him. But you want to know why they testified for him? Because they were in love with the sick bastard.
Oh, yeah.
He made those boys fall in love with him. Yeah. It was beyond sexual.
Yeah, it was beyond.
Like he gave one of them a wedding ring. Like it was some weird grooming that was going on there.
That's some Satan shit right there.
And like you look at his two marriages to Elvis's daughter and the other fake marriage, they were such like staged marriages. It was like so awkward. It wasn't even funny when he went on the VMAs with Lisa Marie and made out with her. It was just like Madonna and Britney Spears looked more authentic than that.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to touch up on something that from the one of the people that were found that were missing.
Sure.
Okay, there was this guy. His name was Charles McCullough. He I didn't get no information as just this is the only information I got as to how he was found because it was just so strange. So, um, he was found leaning against a log with his pants around his ankles. Right,
Oh.
with his pants around his ankles. The only body parts left of him were parts of his tibia and his pant leg and part of his skull and scapula bones in 1 inch by 1 inch pieces.
Yeah, he was sodomized and left to die.
So, like,
Maybe
what do you
animals
think
got
now? People like I think. What do you think about Sasquatch? You think Sasquatch can be doing this in these forests?
it. I wasn't expecting the left turn of
I know.
Sasquatch.
I feel that. That was I had to throw that at you. I appreciate it.
I was thinking, well, like, I mean, honestly, like, if the like, I'll give you my opinions on Sasquatch, but like, I was thinking more of like, I mean, it's the woods. If they leave these kids like sodomized and left them for dead, animals will eat them.
Yeah.
So it could be bears or like any kind of like just like nature. But like, am I open minded to Sasquatch? Yes. But I don't know if Sasquatch exists in this. I think it's more international. I don't know. Like,
yeah, I'm leaning towards more.
I tell you the truth, I'd have to do more research. I don't have enough research on Sasquatch to really have a
okay, me either. That's
connect that.
I didn't want to get into that. I just wanted to see what I wanted your initial thoughts.
No, I'm open minded to that possibility, but just like, I mean, let's just look at the scenario. These kids are sodomized, left in compromising positions, left to die in the woods. An animal is going to eat you.
Yeah, no matter how much is left of you.
Right, exactly. I mean, like if a bear walks by, they're like, "Oh my god, picnic basket on a tree."
Fine, yeah,
that's a free meal. So the bears are walking away happy out of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Or Sasquatch, but I think it's hungry bears.
I'm gonna flip back to the elites. You were talking about the elites, right?
Yeah.
Power and stuff like that or whatever. So we got because my wife, she's been putting me on to this the royal family. She put me about what's going on.
We haven't talked about the royals much.
Yeah, they because she's been the tabloids, like as far as the tabloids, like they're just so discredited that they're almost true. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot.
Do you know how much missing children are connected to the queen, dude? It is fucking sick.
Yeah, and exactly. So, and I have listen to this. I have a Okay, I was watching this episode. Okay, David Icke, salute you, David Icke, another guy that
Oh, yeah, he's done some great work on the Royals. David Icke, I've seen some of this.
Great work. So he interviewed this woman. Her name is Arizona Wilder, and I'm not sure if everybody's seen this. If you did, you did. If you don't, cool. I'm gonna let you know about it. But Arizona Wilder was a lady. She was claiming that she was involved in the royal family's cult that they had. They're a cult. Their extraterrestrial cult. Actually.
Yep.
And
you've done your research on this. You know you can connect this.
Oh yeah,
this I'm more into connecting than Sasquatch and the kids.
yeah. So I heard that the lady was saying that she would be the leader. She's the head leader. She's the head queen. Okay, so she would be these rituals, and now the younger people that were just in the organization just learning things, they didn't know too much. They're trying to earn their bones, so they just they're there to worship. So then they do a ceremony, and it would be like a ritual going on, and there'd be like the sacrifice would be a human. Okay.
Of course, yeah. Here we go.
It would be from a baby to an adult, no matter what it was. So at the end of the ritual, they'd end up giving a sacrifice to the queen or whatever. You know what I mean? So now that the queen has been doing this for so long, and her body's gotten so used to the blood. You know what I mean? And the fear in the blood so much that
she's addicted to it, just like addicted to cigarettes or any other substance. She's addicted to
it's like heroin.
It literally does like give you like a weird drug, and like Yeah, it's like a fountain of youth. Like they drink the baby blood to stay young. Why do you think she's still alive and kicking, that old fucking witchy bastard?
I know. For real. Look that
And
motherfucker.
her demonic kids.
Yeah, yeah, that's not good. That's
But
not
like,
good.
no, the Royals are that they're a fucked up cult, man. They really are, and I think everybody in England in the UK knows it. I think the UK really don't take them seriously.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
just
think they do either.
freaking they're used like the Kardashians are used in this country, you know?
Like, hey, check it out. I was telling you, my girl told me that she was reading the tabloid about the royal family, and it was saying that you know how Camilla and Prince, was it Prince Charles and Camilla? You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? That supposedly Camilla and Prince Charles are getting a divorce, right?
yeah.
And they're supposed to be, she's supposed to be telling like, coming forward with secrets of the royal family. You know what I mean? Like there's six secrets that they hide. You know what I'm saying? And how Prince Charles orchestrated Prince Diana's death.
I was about to bring Diana up. I was going to say, what do you think really happened with Diana?
Yeah.
Because I have
So yeah.
passionate.
So what
She was
happened
going
was,
to
check this
expose
out.
all those motherfuckers, man.
Hell yeah, man.
She was out. She had all the knowledge. She was sick of it, and she was, I think,
She was
a
gonna say something. She was gonna
huh?
come forward. She was gonna
Yeah,
come
yeah,
forward.
yeah. And they fucking sucked the fucking paparazzi out of her to kill her. Like you want to say, you want to look at a staged event. I don't like to think they're all staged, but I like to think that one's a fucky one. She was gonna expose them for what they really were, and she was to me a true and good person, good natured, good vibrational person, and she, you know, I mean, they're demonic. They're, you know, I mean, they're most likely reptilian. There are pictures of the queen shifting in her eyes, and what one was from her 90th birthday. It was real infamous, where her eyes got real slitty. But there's been celebrities that have said they've seen her shapeshift in front of them. I believe either Madonna or Adele or one of those high level celebrities was talking about that. Yeah, they're disgusting people.
Yeah, it's pretty, it's bad. They just like they're trying to their camouflage that they wear supposedly. You know, sometimes they can't control it.
Yeah. That's what's been said about a lot of the reptilian. I heard a story about Jay-Z and Beyonce having malfunctions on an airplane about a year ago.
I think I heard about that shit too.
Yeah, dude, Twitter went nuts about it, and then they blocked everything on Twitter about it. It was crazy.
Typical
They said Beyonce morphed into this weird bird raptor like thing.
Yeah. It definitely is
Oh, the big ladies!
shit.
Oh, by the way, play all my single ladies backwards, and it says "I love Satan." Still a little nugget for you.
Okay, damn, I didn't think
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
that whole like shit from the '70s where you play the music backwards and it's demonic. That's still a thing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Do that with
Well,
Justin Bieber or Beyonce. A lot of that stuff, you'll get some fucked up messages.
yeah, I want to tell you about this about the ritual they were doing. That the queen, she cannot sometimes she can't stand to sit there and wait for the ritual to fully go through and end. You know what I'm saying? So like, because she's so thirsty for the flesh.
Yep. Yep.
So
The
one
old
time,
vampire bitch.
so I heard one time she just right before the ritual ended, she could not take it. She fucking pushed the person that was doing the ritual over the side, and like she finished it fucking ultra fast, nigga, and just chewed this dude's neck off.
Yeah,
And
yeah, like a true ass vampire, dude. I'm telling you.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So you think of the vampire, right? I'm thinking the vampire was a cover up with reptilians.
Yeah, I think when you want to look at like the vampire theories and the original Dracula, I think this certainly could be a connection to.
So think about it, Draco. They called the Draco.
Yeah, no, it's
Exactly.
hidden right there. I've thought about that too.
You see what I'm saying? Like, and
Mhm.
the fact that they go in sarcophaguses and
They
cryostasis.
made the legend of Dracula out of the Draconians.
Exactly, and that's exactly what they did, and that's hiding it in plain sight. Like I said, that's just another example. You know what I mean? It's just,
Yep, all through history, brother. All through history.
you know, and that's what's happening. You know, these reptilians have been in a war with us, and they're here, and fucking, I believe they're real. And
Oh yeah, and I definitely think they've perpetrated the royals. I do think they have figures in the American government. Some think the Bush family.
yeah, I think they
Who
it
knows?
goes down to like they really think that they're the true like blood right to this planet.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they
Yep.
really believe that they like this planet is theirs. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's fucking psycho. You know what I'm saying? that,
Mm-hmm.
that's some crazy shit. Like you think about it, like
Well, and like what manipulation have they had on the human race for thousands upon thousands of years? changing the narratives, creating demonic scenarios, perhaps influencing demonic movements.
Yeah, I mean that's straight
Who
to the
knows?
source. They want that. All they want to see is pain. They want to see people negative.
Yep.
All they want is negative. They live by that shit. They feed off that shit. So, oh man, I can't wait to them. I can't wait till this whole thing blows up, Joe, and all these people get put away for all that.
I even heard a theory once that like that even like WWE's involved with it, and like they would use the Titantron will suck up all the energy, and like the Dracos or whatever will suck up the energy from the Titantron after Raw and SmackDown and shit.
Okay. Yeah, there are a lot of cases where
I've heard. I don't know that as a fact, but I've heard that again. Like we're talking about sports theories, this is wrestling conspiracy. There's conspiracy theories in everything. If you go down the smoke
I didn't hear that one. I didn't hear that one, Joe. So you did. That's a I didn't know.
Oh no, I heard that one a long time ago. There's people who have specific channels just for that kind of content.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't even think of to look.
What was interesting though, I'll give you one other wrestling nugget, seeing as I'm kind of giving you some bonus stuff. You remember Vampiro from WCW?
Yeah.
He recently, it recently came out he had Alzheimer's, so that's kind of sad. But he recently did an interview with Rob Feinstein, who's like a wrestling interviewer guy, kind of like a jokey guy. He'll always joke to the wrestlers. Like he'll have this like Rickroll joke where he'll ask them a serious question, be like, "Hey, you're timing something. You're a program with this guy, and oh, how big is Batista's dick?" Like he's like a shock jock interviewer. Like I mean, like that kind of yeah. And like he interviewed Vampiro, and out of nowhere, Vampiro started talking about legitly being in the occult shit. And this was after he got out of WCW. He started to pursue it for just the knowledge factor. Because that's the other thing is the hidden knowledge. I mean, Illuminati means the illuminated ones means hidden knowledge. So that really is why a lot of people get sucked in that rabbit hole in pursuit of knowledge. And Vampiro was talking about that and some of the sick shit he had seen. Very interesting stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. I'm gonna look into that, man. Cause that's
and again, that's the guy who was on television, on highlighted performer for WCW, openly talking about how he was into it and how he even stayed at Crowley's house in Europe and all kinds of crazy shit.
Wow. Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Shit. Well,
and like Jay-Z uses Aleister Crowley quotes all the time. Like on his, he most of his clothing apparel has Aleister Crowley quotes and shit.
Yeah, I mean, and I think he's the one that really introduced the fact that the Illuminati's in plain sight with the, you know what I'm saying? As far as
I think he was the first real rapper to really say, "Fuck it, I want to be a CEO. I'm about whatever you need me to be about."
Exactly.
And that's why Tupac, that's why Tupac going at him before Tupac left, because Tupac could see that. It wasn't because Jay-Z was connected to Biggie why Tupac was going at him. Tupac and Biggie was the whole because he got shot in fucking the studio and they knew about it. So that's how that happened. But like they wanted to throw in as a whole East Coast, West Coast, where he was cool with Tupac. He was cool with Wu-Tang. He was cool with a lot of East Coast people. But like he saw the fakeness that Jay-Z was.
Yeah, he stood through it. He seen through it all. He was exactly what I would have done, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I see Pop.
And then you got to look at his Jay-Z's career before Reasonable Doubt. He was very gimmicky before he did Reasonable Doubt.
Hey, Joe, I want to put you on some Prodigy, the late Prodigy. Rest in peace.
Oh, he had so much great. I used to follow his quotes all the time and his shoot videos.
He just was like, man. Like ever since when he passed.
Dirty Bastard too. Another good example of someone who
like
put a lot of information out there.
Like they said Prodigy died by choking on an egg.
Yep.
In the hospital, choked on an egg, died.
Well, why do you think they gave AZE AIDS? Take him out the equation too, because that was a real street motherfucker. They didn't want involved in the growth of hip hop.
So what you think about Nipsey then? You think Nipsey had
I have two schools of thought on Nipsey. I'm glad we brought it to Nipsey. We kind of naturally organic touch on Nipsey. I like how you structured this segment. First of all, rest in peace to Nipsey. I had the pleasure of seeing him live 10 years ago. He opened up for Game at Lupo's about 2009 range. I got to see he did a whole hour and a half set. He smoked a giant blunt. I have the mixtape. I was listening to it the other day from that show. He was so underrated. He owns 100% of his masters. He never went like full sellout mode. That's why a lot of people who weren't true hip hop fans didn't know about Nip, because he wasn't featured like Lil Wayne or these guys. But he's been around a long time. He's 33 years old. He was rapping since his teens. Game, everybody, you can hear Game talk about him years ago, how, you know, he was going to be the next great West Coast rapper. But he stayed independent, and he opened these clothing stores in the hood, and like he always tried to give back. And I think, you know, before we go to the other possibility here, just let's look at street ethics. We all, you know, we grew up around that. We're familiar with that.
Yeah.
So, like, you want to talk about street ethics and, like, people who get jealous and insecure of people's success. Nip never left the hood. Nip fucking opened up clothing stores in the hood, and you're going to tell me every Tom, Dick, and Harry that had a mixtape was probably trying to fuck with Nip. And this guy, Eric Holder, including. And, like, I think Nip had helped this guy out, and this guy just, like, had bit Nip in the ass. You know what I mean? Like, he was a snake. Supposedly he was a snitch, too. And from what I heard, is he was in jail and he got out, and Nip was like, yo, prove to me that you weren't a snitch, and then I can fuck with you. And then that's when he came back and shot him. So he was a snake-ass motherfucker. Now, also you can say, was Eric Holder a placeholder, quote unquote, pardon the pun, for a greater scheme, which is highly possible. Nipsey Hussle was doing this documentary on Dr. Sebi, who was a doctor from Ecuador who had patients with AIDS and diabetes and cancer, and he cured these patients with natural remedies, even won his case all the way to the Supreme Court. They tried to get him on not having a medical license and practicing improper medical. He ended up getting killed, and Nipsey Hussle was going to do a documentary on him. He had a very famous interview on The Breakfast Club recently talking about it. You can check that video out. It's a great interview. And, you know, he was going to expose something that I don't think the national media wanted reignited, pardon the pun. So, yeah, he very could have been taken out for the same reasons I think Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell were taken out, because they were fitting to expose something.
What about
again? Those were both suicides, quote unquote.
What about Mac Miller, Joe?
Mac Miller was either an Illuminati sacrifice or a dude that had a lot of problems.
Okay. So you think Mac Miller is separate from Benningfield and what we're talking about? Pretty much.
Mac Miller, I think, was Ariana Grande's blood sacrifice, if you want my honest opinion.
Okay. All right, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
I can't that's pretty much.
Yeah. That's how I feel. And then you go with the Pete Davidson shit too, and she is a vampire. She is like the Kardashians. Look, Ariana Grande is a bad bitch, but I stay careful of her. She seems like she got issues. Dudes, ex-boyfriends turning up dead.
Yeah. That's some evil shit surrounding that, man. You know.
Yeah, that's what I think. I don't know that for a fact, but that's what I think.
Yeah, I feel you. So. It's funny that you said Ecuador. You said what you say about under Dr. Sebi was Ecuadorian, right? You said.
Yeah, because it connects to where Assange was hiding out.
Exactly. So thank you, and that's what
we had a good flow today. I like this.
Yeah, that's what I was about to touch upon. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you heard said Ecuador, I'm like, bang, all right. So, yeah, the Ecuadorian embassy just got into power by this guy named Lenin Moreno.
Mm-hmm.
And he just came into power after a decade power of the former president. I'm not sure of the former president's name. I can't think of it right now.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head, but I know it's a new regime.
Yeah, but anyway, they I heard they're dragging Julian Assange. Okay, if anyone doesn't know, Julian Assange is the founder of WikiLeaks. He's a journalist. You know, just a regular journalist to me. You know, he did some stuff, and he was accused of co-conspirating with Chelsea Manning, which she was a former army former soldier that was working with intelligence, and supposedly she had leaked some information, some dirty laundry, if you will, about our corrupt military as it is, and about them, you know, as far as releasing videos of what was it, the helicopter that killed the Reuters and the civilians.
Yep.
It was like a helicopter attack, and they thought they were carrying weapons, but they were carrying camera equipment. And
yeah. It was that. But I mean, there's stuff connected to the recent presidential race too, with the exposing of the emails and everything.
Yeah, he exposed a lot of emails that that
The
just
Hillary Clinton emails.
Hillary Clinton, and a lot of people think, some people think that it was Donald Trump, as though it was knew about it, had
I
knowledge.
had spoken to our good friend Orlando, and he believes that Assange was getting ready to expose Obama.
Okay. Yeah,
That's from one person's belief
yeah.
system.
That would explain why the U.S. was the one that ordered, right? Wasn't U.S. the one that signed the authorization for the British pickup?
Yep. Oh yeah, it was a cosign.
So like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, so what they're doing is they're gonna try to extradite him here.
Yep, exactly.
And
Now,
go ahead, go ahead.
there's so many factors to this because like again like that's convenience factor. It makes a lot of sense with that puzzle, but also like you want to talk about the regime and the government. This dude was there for like what 7 years in the consulate in Ecuador.
In the embassy, yeah.
So I had heard he was kind of losing. I think they kind of forced him out too. They were getting sick of him. He was losing his mind. He was sitting there like he had his cats there. Supposedly the whole area smelled like cat shit, and he was like
Crap, yeah.
skateboarding. And supposedly he was dating Pamela Anderson. Pamela Anderson would come down and have a little fun time with yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Julie.
Assange was getting that Pamela Anderson.
Uh, Julian, I man, Julian. I consider Julian a hero.
Oh, me too. Me
You know,
too.
so that's just the level I'm on. Like, he just opened a lot more doors. Just like, he just opened so many more people's minds. I think, man. I think he's just making everybody.
But here's the thing, though. Like they had him in checkmate, so like he had to stay in the embassy, and once they forced him out, it's a wrap. You know.
Yeah, but you know what though? He planted a seed.
No, I mean the
So
work that he did is gonna be like I think affect generations of truthers and people getting the truth out there. He really is a pioneer. I agree with you. You
yeah,
know,
he's
he's
he's a
probably gonna end up getting
journalist.
killed.
He's
You
a
want my honest
journalist.
opinion?
Yeah, he's a journalist. What they're trying to do now is, Joe, is
I
they're
mean,
trying to
so is Jamal Khashoggi, and the Saudi Arabia government had no problem destroy, not only killing him, but
killing
burying him
him.
in the garden and all this nasty shit you heard. And then the McMahon family and Donald Trump had no problem accepting their blood and money after that either.
Yeah, they had no problem. So you tell me, I think Saudi Arabia is running this country, Joe.
I think there's more cause for concern with that than Russia. I'll tell you that.
I agree, definitely.
They're in bed with not only the WWE, they give the WWE $90 million a year, Major, to run 2 shows. They make more money off their shows in Saudi Arabia than they do off WrestleMania, which is why Undertaker only wrestles at the Saudi shows now, not at WrestleMania.
Ooh, okay. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that. Bishop Joe.
The Prince is a fan of like 90s, 2000s wrestling. He doesn't like the current product. So he asked for they did the first show like a year and a half ago. He requested the Ultimate Warrior and Yokozuna. Both have been dead for years. And then Vince got like a Yokozuna wannabe from New Japan that would make a one-off.
Oh my
Like
God.
no one had even heard him, but he just kind of looked like Yoko a little bit.
Jeez, because he was fat and Japanese.
Yeah. It's like a fat Asian fella.
Motherfuckers, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, dude.
I,
So it's insane. And like Daniel Bryan refused to go out there. John Cena refused to go out there. So some of the talent stepped up and refused. And they don't even book the women out there because they're so behind the times. And they just had the women main event mania. So there's just a WWE accepting $90 million a year just for 2 shows. Plus multiple other companies. Plus the United States is got their own business dealings, and obviously Trump has his own dealings with them.
yeah, yeah. Everybody got their own, their own agendas. You know what I'm saying? And
So like you're gonna tell me like Trump don't have big time investments with them? Certainly. And could it be influential? And
he
I
does,
think more influential than the Russian narrative? Yes.
just like every other CEO and billionaire, fucking corporate, Fortune 500 owner motherfucker in this country, in the world.
Of course. It's
It's
like the
all one.
Kingpin from Spider-Man. They're all the same.
It's all the same. It's all one. It's all one entity. And then
Yep.
when it gets exposed, Joe, it's gonna be my day. My day to sit back and laugh. You know what I'm saying? And soak it all in, because what I'm saying is gonna happen. And I want
Oh
to.
yeah, dude. But like certainly like I'd like to thank Assange for his contributions to the truthing community, and I pray for him. I hope I feel like he's lost his mind. If you're in isolation anywhere for 7 years,
Anyway, you're gonna lose your mind. Yeah,
so
definitely.
that's why I think he's at currently, and that's why I think Ecuador forced him out.
Yep, they did. They
They
did
were,
that shit on purpose. They did that. The United Kingdom did that shit on purpose with the assistance of the United States government.
oh yeah, absolutely,
The pressure.
without question. I mean, UK and America have always had this weird little buddy system going on.
Yeah, definitely. They didn't put it out there as much. They didn't really blurt it out there. And that's what kept
No,
them.
they just piggyback off each other's narratives. It's quite interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. So I think Assange deserves praise, and he planted his seed, and there's gonna be a lot more people behind him that's gonna be coming out. There ain't no one's gonna be scared. This ain't gonna affect nobody. I hope it don't scare other people from wanting to come forward and wanting to bring the truth, because that's what we want. That's what we need. We deserve it. We get up, go to work every day as citizens, and we work hard for the little dollar that we make, and we just want what we deserve.
Amen, dude. Amen. And
We
this is
want
supposed to be a free country, and lesser and lesser that appears to be a case. I'm a guy in radio and comedy, and like I believe very heavily in the First Amendment, and man, they've been draining every bit of it the last 20 years.
telling you, they've been just tearing the Constitution apart, like just been ripping that shit, like.
To the point where if you have a bad tweet, you can fucking lose your career. It's insane.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They're criminalizing journalism. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, like
Journalism. Journalism is in a bad way right now because you have your staged network journalism, which is just all about furthering narratives, your CNNs, your Fox News, et cetera, and then you have actual people who are getting silenced.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's not right, man. We gotta get this.
I mean, if the truth was so easy to access, then more people would have it. That's why you have to have vehicles like the Smokescreen to access to give you vehicles to other options and more truthful narratives.
Yeah, you gotta have the smoke screen in your life, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta have the smoke screen in your life. Stay with us. We're gonna be coming at you with more episodes. This is a great one. I'm happy to come back. Joe, you the man. I appreciate you. Appreciate the patience. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no problem, brother. It's all about syncing up schedules, and I know you had gotten some new equipment, and it sounds really good production. I like stepping up. I got to get my equipment now and step my production level up.
This year, I know you will.
Oh yeah.
I know you
will. Rest in peace to Nip. Thank you for your contributions. Definitely a sad loss in the hip hop world, and he'll be remembered. Now, anybody who isn't familiar with his music, he owns 100% of his masters, so his family will get the proceeds of the download. You saw how much his numbers went up after he died. What, 1,000% or something? His sale. Right? So check him out, man. Like, don't be ashamed for not knowing him because he wasn't presented to you like by the mat. Don't think you're a bad hip hop fan for not knowing who Nipsey Hussle was. I was lucky because I saw him live years ago and had kind of kept an eye on him ever since. But check out his music. And by the way, while you're on iTunes, you can download Emmett Woe's album, which is on iTunes and Spotify, and even clicks on it equal views. So even if you don't buy it, click it, listen to it. It all goes to a good cause.
All goes to a good cause.
And he's going to be open up for Miles Grimes in May, so that's going to be cool. His first big show back besides our wrestling show.
Oh, that's excellent. Shout out to both of them. Since we were young, we grew up with them.
Oh yeah.
Artists support them. Yeah, supported them. We always
Go on iTunes. Go on Spotify. Check out the Emmett Woe's album BAM, dedicated to his son. Some great tracks on there, and certainly worth your time.
Yeah, and Joe, I wanted to tell you again over the line. Everybody knows. I appreciate what you did for the Children's Hospital. Y'all did a really good thing with the wrestling show. Y'all are great people. Y'all are great. It did for a great cause.
You know what? It's awesome, and it felt great to give back and being a reason to put smiles on kids. And obviously, it was so close to people that we like our friend Jay. His daughter has a pacemaker. His daughter was in the hospital with Steve's son, who unfortunately didn't make it. And this is what really brought us together, these causes. And we're going to be continuing with Heart of Warrior Wrestling, running events probably at least once a year, and continuing with the charity narrative. And we're already planning next year's show and looking to have a theme of like toiletries instead of just like toys, like, because that's something they need too. Deodorant, anything like just my friends have lived it and knows what that struggle is like. So we're going to continue that, and really have some great ideas and great stuff that's going to be going forward. Looking for a Heart of Warrior 2 next year.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. Y'all are great, man, for real. Well, I'm gonna call it quits for now. Say everybody, y'all just like, subscribe. Anything you want us to talk about, just drop it down there. We'll get back to you. And Joe, I love you, man. I'll give you a call a little bit later. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go back
Love
here
you,
and
brother. Salute. Great show.
get something to eat. I appreciate you, Joe. I'll holler at you. All right,
Later.
later.